This second discussion video for week 1 of the electromechanical MEC3482 course is going to rely upon Joshua's posting asking about training requirements. So in Joshua's posting, he asked, do we have to be trained company-wide for all equipment, or should we be trained for our individual equipment that we will be responsible for? At its core, this question basically comes down to what is the company's policy, and does this policy meet expectations? I would point out that if you've already watched discussion 1 where we answered the question using the NFPA 70E, we see that one of the key things that we have to train for is who is affected. For this reason, if you are not going to be in a section of the plant, you may not need to be trained for equipment in that section. I take, for example, if you are never in the room with the sifters, you may not need to be trained to work with the sifters. Now, is there a possibility that you will be trained in one area, but on an off day get called in and work in a different area? If the answer to this question is yes, that could happen, then in that scenario, it is best to cross-train. Once again, this comes back to what is a best practice versus what is a minimum practice. As long as the equipment you work on, you have been authorized to work with, then you meet the requirements in NFPA 70E and exceed the requirements of OSHA. Now, as far as your safety goes, I would recommend being cross-trained into every piece of equipment that you could be asked to maintenance, either in a cosmetic, mechanical, hydraulic, pneumatic, or electrical way. Any source of electrical energy, non-electrical energy, including mechanical energy, can potentially injure you, and you should be aware of it and able to control it. With that being said, there are plenty of places that you may never be. For example, you may not be in a grain silo. Makes perfect sense. As the miller, you may not be required to do that job. So therefore, it may not make sense to train you in power isolation of legs if that's something you're never going to work with, and that is perfectly acceptable. Thank you for the question. Look forward to answering some more.